Thanks for staying with us. So let's take a few comments on social media. I have one here from Mr. Jalili Aziz. He says, good morning, ladies of your view. I think a man should have a good mindset and take full responsibility of taking care of his family, especially if he wants his wife to be submissive. I haven't used that word so far. There's nothing like 50-50. However, if he's lucky to have a supportive wife, then he should be grateful.
Yes.
Okay, any other comments?
Tony G. Oladoso on TikTok says, to bear burden should be both their responsibilities. Eritek Home says, relationship is grace. I married 4 times and now I'm in a blissful marriage for 18 years.
I'm so happy.
Says, time has changed in such a way that the mentality of entitlement has eaten deep into our marriage. And this is where I'd like to agree. You know, so a woman carrying her home is not something that, you know, you loud it. It's expected that you cover him up till he balances up. You know, women have done it for generations without making it. But when you are married to someone who becomes entitled to what you bring, to the extent that it's a burden and it demands it, you have kids, you're masculine, you're totally masculinated. What does BC call that word? Your masculine energy supersedes. You forget how to be a woman. At the end of the day, you're a provider, you're doing it all. You forget it, and then the man comes home and expects you to be a woman. You know, to do the other room business, to cook for him and all of that. And today, that's what brings about this gender-based violence we see, where the man is saying, I want to bring her, or I want to cut her to size.
Can I say something that we've not touched on?
Okay.
He said that when you allow a woman to be that successful, she gets tempted outside because there are other people that are willing, because now she feels like, listen, I don't need you. So she's meeting people at the MDs of banks, she's hanging out there doing stuff, and she's feeling that she's at that level, and her husband is there doing at her home. So it also makes a woman, to the point, susceptible to infidelity.
If you collect gifts now, somebody will see how hardworking she is, go buy her nice thing she thinks it's.
But even a housewife, that when she goes to the market,
she will be
temptations are there as well.
Bovi.
It's true. There's not some people's wives inside market.
You can run down market. You can walk away.
I'm just saying, regardless of the level, temptations exist.
But you can walk away from a market gift. You know, and a meat seller can cut extra meat and say, oh,
so you go to buy.
I want to wait for my husband. But your boss in the office who sees how hardworking you are,
takes breakfast
and you drive from here to Alagbole or to Alagbado every day, maybe from Island to, and your husband is just waiting for you, and he says, oh, she needs a car, and he buys you a car, one car that
you would
somewhat that
you might just make you.
And if the man is affected,
temptations happen both ways. If the man decides to let you to be at home and he's doing the work, he faces temptation.
Yes.
So it's not really about temptations, and we hope that whoever it is that you marry remembers what their vow to the marriage is. So for me, I don't think that is a problem. You know, the truth is, there are some men I feel that may really prefer to be at home. They may prefer to be more domesticated.
Yeah, but there are select few.
Yes, there are select
naturally, men are not like that.
Okay.
Men are not out.
See, to be domesticated at home.
Yeah, so when you don't have work to do, you do something
not like that. I agree with you.
That's why I said there are select few.
Okay.
See, ultimately, I think these are my views.
Yes.
A man should provide for his family.
Okay.
I also believe in today's world, a woman should be encouraged to chase her dreams if she has dreams.
Yes.
And if those dreams make her economically powerful, then it is welcome. Because if a man dies, for example, what happens to the woman if she's not economically powerful?
Exactly.
And if a man chooses to misbehave and he says, leave my house, what happens to the woman?
Yes.
So that's my take on it. Men should provide, but women should also be very much encouraged to do those things, to be financially empowered.
I think we can end on that. I think that's a good way to end that segment. But really, the truth is that I think we need to continually reevaluate the roles of men and women in relation as we are evolving, because things are going to be different. Our kids are seeing things differently. Kids are seeing their mothers working back to back, seeing their fathers sometimes sleeping on the couch, and they're wondering what's going on. And then they tell them in school that your father is a provider, and they're wondering, in my house, it doesn't look like it. So the kids are really confused. There's a whole thing going on out there. So I think it's time for us to really authentically reevaluate and look at what role should men play going forward, given the fact that these women are very enlightened. they're getting educated every day. Should they continue to play that nurturing role? Or can we both start nurturing? Can we both start getting domestic? Can we both start getting providers? Can we agree on a 50-50 going forward? So that the men who are raised as Bovi, that I am the sole provider, you will be raised to understand that, listen, I am doing 50, you're doing 50, we're doing it. So I'm just saying it's a conversation. Like what have you. Or we can say traditional and say, you know what, let's keep it such that the man is provided. Either way, I think we can wrap up with this. So let's come to Bovi.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's focus on Bovi in the building. Because there's a lot you're working on.
Right.
You know, we've been seeing you on Visa on Arrival.
Yeah.
I mean, we love the comedy, the content. And I know you're doing a lot of amazing work in that. Tell us a bit about that before we come to what you're working on right now. How many seasons have you guys done?
Well, we're currently in season 5. We just finished season 5. We're about to work on season 6.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Fantastic.
And, you know, Visa on Arrival for me, like I said when camera was off, is a satire. We want to point out the issues that plague society, you know. So it's beyond how the average worker in an office behaves. It is also touching on homes and lives. And this topic you just talked about now, right? So more than anything, I like to use Visa on Arrival to show the power women have and how it should be encouraged. Because like you said, the things are changing and rapidly in today's world. You know, I think the woman has been too subdued over time. And I don't think it was always like that, right? Yeah. So I was raised by a woman.
Single mother?
I have sisters, no. I have sisters.
I have a wife.
I have a daughter. I have a wife. And maybe because I grew up amongst women a lot, I see the power in a woman that many people don't see. Yeah, so that's what Visa on Arrival primarily, one of the primary reasons why I'm doing Visa on Arrival, apart from pointing out the issues in society, is to just make people see aspects of women that exist, good and bad.
Okay, we have to continue to talk about Visa on Arrival. I have to say this openly. Visa on Arrival is the only show that I watch. I forget that they're acting, that I want to strangle Charity. Charity, oh my goodness, this is someone I follow on social media because of her workouts and everything. But when anytime I see her on Visa on Arrival, every one of them, you know, they seem so real. It's almost like I've met each and every one of them somewhere in one civil service institution or the other.
Right.
How are they so real? You know, a lot of our acting, we don't get to see that. Complete. Realness. Yes, is it realness? What's the word? They just seem like they're not acting. Like, how did you get them to be so real? Because you're the writer.
Yes. I told them the essence of this show is to mirror society, right? So if we embellish it too much with the things you learn in acting school, the message might be lost in translation. So I just told them, let's keep it real. Yeah. There are people like this. There are ego-driven men
like you
who want to run women down. There are the pious, or rather over-pious women who use religion as everything. There are the confrontational women, and there are the good women who just want to do the job and make sure they deliver.
Sophia Lakija, thank you for coming to save the day.
Right. Stuff like that. Yeah. So we just wanted to keep it real.
So originally, Sophie wasn't in the original cast. At what point did you decide there's a new character you wanted to add? Because when I saw her, I underestimated her.
Right.
Yeah, and then I watched her, and now she's in fact, she's my best character because she brings the balance.
Right.
At what point did you decide this is where you want to stop the regular one and bring one honest person who's upright?
I tried to first bring an honest person with Nancy's character, right? But because she's like a junior officer, it wasn't having that effect. It dawned on me that, or rather I remember that people watch TV to let off steam. People watch these shows to escape reality. So when they are watching a show like this, they are looking for poetic justice. And all the characters were getting away with murder. And because of the premise of the show, someone who comes for an interview seeking a visa cannot bring poetic justice. What they will do is shout, get angry, and go. So I tried it for a few seasons. It wasn't working. So I was like, okay, you need to bring somebody into the system to checkmate all the crazy characters.
You talked about being so passionate. What you want to jump in?
Yeah, so what I wanted to ask you that what inspired, before the questions came, I wanted to ask you what inspired, why visa on arrival? And most of the time on the show, you could never grant those visas.
Right.
You always deny the visas.
Right.
So, but what inspired, why visa on arrival? Why that particular?
I had to look for, the reasons are many, but primarily speaking, I had to look for a type of show that can address different types of people and different types of parastatals. Have you been to, sorry to say, if you go to civil service, not just civil service, if you go to some companies and you're looking for a contract, you need to understand that a junior officer can sit on your file. Even when Oga says,
It
won't fly. It won't fly.
Yeah.
You shout, rake, everything, you know. So I was like, I need to find a way to address those issues. And yeah, visa.
I know you're very concerned about women empowerment, you know, and women in playing leadership roles in the entertainment industry. Tell us about that. I mean, there's been so many leaders doing so many things, but how can we get more women out there in the entertainment world and in circles?
Well, you know, I was telling my friend before I came here that if you fight evil too often, you won't know when you become evil as well. So my idea is to not just preach about women and the role they should play or encourage women. It's also to go to the source. Why do you think women face the kind of resistance they face?
Yeah.
I think it's because if you check the source, we've not raised our men right.
That's different from a man.
You
Coming
know?
from a man.
Yeah, we've not raised our men right. I don't know. You have male kids.
Yes.
You have milk.
You have male kids,
Yes.
right? How old?
I have a 13-year-old.
Mine is 11.
11, 10, 13,
Eight.
8. If your son tells you he has a girlfriend now, what would be your first reaction?
It's too early.
Read your book.
It's too early.
No.
Right.
Yeah,
So you
go,
see,
get
I
ready.
think we are not raising our men to understand what relationships are like.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So most of us grew up not knowing how to treat women, not knowing how to listen to women. So we need to adjust these things. So if your son says he has a girlfriend at that age, your reaction, even from this space now, was resistance already. You need to listen and you need to teach him how. You need to teach him how to date.
He's 10 years old.
Yes, but he
From
knows
now?
more than you can ever imagine, especially in today's world of social
At
media.
10?
Yes. I promise you they know.
No, I mean...
I'm
teaching
pre-social media and I knew stuff.
At
They
10?
have
Yes.
crushes.
Yes,
They
they
have
have
I
crushes.
knew stuff.
Not true.
Like I understand
Crushes, but they
13
don't have-
myself.
They have crushes. I'm not saying encourage them to have girlfriends. I'm saying let them
also
know
have a
that there's a
conversation.
timetable
Oh, yeah, of
for
course.
things like this, and let them. It's okay for them to actually start having dates. Yes.
Oga Bovi, take
Play,
it out.
it's called play
Bovi
dates.
says-
It's called
Yeah.
play dates.
No,
It's called play.
I don't do play dates.
You don't do play
No,
dates
no, forget
that
it.
have supervision.
I never ready for this.
As a
But
boy
when
and
we
girl.
were kids, we played Mama and Papa.
Eh,
Even that has been
and
criticized.
because we
Mama
were
and Papa
not
were kissing.
supervised,
things happen.
Yes.
things happen. So you see, that's the point I'm trying to stress here. Our kids are sharper than we can ever imagine.
Bovi, just to support you, because my son is 8, and he was not 8 when he told me, this girl, is she going to be my wife? And I said, no, wife is not in your dictionary right now. So really, maybe they are wondering these things.
Oh yes,
No,
they
No,
are.
they
Wonder
are.
it now because they see mommy and daddy.
Right.
So they wonder it actually.
So
So we need to raise the boy child.
Okay.
We need to adjust how the boy child is raised. If you encourage your boy child to be, oh, you go and play, the girls are inside and all, these things, they sit deep, you know. We need to fix that aspect, and then it will be easier for the women.
So you do comedy, Bovi, and I like the fact that you mentioned the role of women on the web series that you have. But how do you intend, or have you seen the impact that you intend to change in society from this satire that you have on the web series? Has it been impactful in changing mindsets around the stereotypes around women? Is it possible that we're beginning to see it?
Can you measure the results?
Yes,
you know?
can you measure the result, the impact of it at this time?
You know, sometimes the things we champion, we may not even live to see the results because some of them take time.
Yeah.
You know, some goals are short term, some are
Thank
mid term,
you.
some are long
Yeah.
Of
term.
you too, we cannot see the
Yes.
result of this
Yes.
show.
Yes.
We are still-
You know, but I would like to also add that women need to even understand that the areas where they are fighting for this empowerment, sometimes you may have conquered, but because you're used to fighting, you don't know you have won. You talked about the entertainment industry and how can it help women. But you see, I observed probably 10, 15 years ago that women actually control the entertainment industry. So what are we talking about? I'm talking of as far back as from the time of the Amaka Igwe, if you know what I mean. The biggest box office hit is a woman, Funke Akindele. The second biggest box office hit is a woman, Mo Abudu. They are the biggest producers. Bolanle Austin Peters is one of the biggest producers. Jade Osiberi, one of the biggest directors, is Kemi Adetiba. The biggest film festival is by Choma Ode. So, what are you saying? The likes of Omoni Oboli, Uche Jumbo, Genevieve Unaji. Yes. So, you need to understand that women are running the entertainment industry. So when I see young girls try to complain, oh, this producer is trying to sleep with me, I'm like, yes, it's true, but who have you cried to? Who have you spoken to? You own the industry. You know?
You know, I hear you, and you're right about women, you know, the women that you have mentioned. And I find this a bit, it reminds me of something where, yes, there are women in this top position, but usually it's the in-betweens. So you have a woman, a giant comes up, but in between, there are just so many that it's not flooded by women. And so these women that say to you, I want to do something, but you know, it's either I'm being harassed or something like that. These women, yes, they stand tall, but they are the tall women in between. That's the issue. How many women are allowed to, you know, be in that space to grow? These women will tell you that they have grown in spite of the issues, you know, on ground. So these girls, what I'm trying to say is that I don't think that they're just being aggressive or just wanting to fight. Is that there are still issues on ground. As a young woman coming out, especially in this industry, there are still issues that she's facing before she gets there.
And I tell them two things. Number one, these issues they are facing, there are men facing these issues as well. The only difference is the sexual part of things. For example, these days there's really much difference in that regard. And then what I tell the ladies is also what I tell the guys. Everybody has a TV station now.
Yes.
Everybody has a TV station. So stop looking for a ladder to climb when you can actually create your own. You know,
I have to talk on the issue of the role of men. Because a lot of women are getting educated, either they don't have their husband's support, or some of these women, they had to defy being a wife or being somebody's, you know, like sometimes people feel as if the men are not supportive. So yes, you want your woman to be a high flyer. You say it verbally, but in actions, you mean totally something different. You know, so what can we do to get men to support women in sincerity, where support them financially, support them physically, emotionally? Many men don't want that. So how do you think we can begin to encourage men to do that more?
Well, to be honest, I think maybe just repeating the message more often will do the magic. If it will do the magic, I don't know. But like I said earlier, the new breed of men that are coming, I think we should focus more on those men, letting them
Bovi, let me pause you for a second. We women go for a lot of conferences. We seek knowledge. We want to be better. We want to know better. Men are not doing that. You are probably here because you've sought out knowledge. You know better. You are talking to mentors, like, you know. But a lot of men, Nigerian men, they just believe everybody's talking rubbish and they want just stay where they are. So women want to fly, but because they don't have that support, they're thinking, I can't fly. My husband doesn't believe in this thing. So women are there trying. So there's a glass ceiling in the house, not at work. The glass ceiling is at home. So how can we break through, or how can we educate these men that are already grown like you, re-educate them to understand the importance of empowering their wives?
I think those men who understand should talk to men. And the women who are doing it should just continue. You can't say because you're not getting the support, you are going to stop. There are women who...
Cost some people their homes.
Yeah, it costs some people their homes. But it's better to live long and happy without a home than to be sad and miserable because you're trying to keep a home. Ultimately.
That's a quotable quote.
It is.
No, it's when picking
the African distance. Okay,
and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be long suffering. I'm not saying you shouldn't bear. But if it's going to kill you, you might want to step out.
Okay, as the father of a girl child, what are your hopes for her future, and what changes do you believe are necessary to ensure they have equal economic opportunities? I see that you have videos of you and your daughter. So what plans do you have? What are your hopes for her in the industry?
I'm raising her to become a weapon in whatever form she likes.
I like it.
Right?
Weapon.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm raising her to know that she's a creator, just like her father. She's a creator, and whatever she thinks, she can achieve, right?
Wow.
As regards this thing, we're talking about men and all as well, because my kids are schooling in the UK, and their mom is there more than I am. Whenever I want to, lately I made a mental note that whenever I want to get on video with them, I must be wearing a shirt and I must be seated, because I'm always lying down.
Okay.
So I'm like, let them not think that
that is always
does not have a job.
That even get work.
stuff like that. These things affect the mind of a child
Yeah.
as well. I don't want my daughter to end up with a guy who, because he's always chill, he's always lying down.
Like my daddy.
And if he's not working hard, like my daddy.
Yeah.
And I don't want my sons to think that, I can't kill myself. Because they don't see me when I'm working. They see me when I am resting. But I have to put on that front.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Nima, you're going to say something.
Well, I wanted to ask, personal question about how your friends around you, because somebody was saying on YouTube that Bovi, they play the women, that your answers are women
Centric.
that you've been answering us and we have just been since how some of your friends in your circle, how do you see them? Are they like you mentally, or do you have 2 or 3 that you correct, that you say this guy do well now, this thing?
Or are they the ones influencing you even?
Is it that all of them are like you?
Maybe
I have
we're a
friends-
bad guy also, that somebody got you to this point.
I have friends who are better than me when it comes to how they manage their home and treat their wives, right? I have the ones who are learning in the process as well, and the ones who are learning from me. But we do more of watching than talking, right? More of watching than
each other.
talking. We watch each other. You're doing this for your wife? Okay, not bad.
Okay.
I'll do this as
So
well.
how do you mentor young ones? Are they also watching you to learn, or do you talk to them?
I talk to those who ask. I talk to those who ask, because I've come to find out that people know what they want. People actually have answers to their problems. They just can't face it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
So
Yeah,
some people want to hear you talk, to just
hear you
verify or to verify what they want to do, right? Stuff like that.
So, of course, we have to talk about what you're going to do. What is in the works for you.
Your thing.
Yes.
I've just finished so many things now. I'm in that mental space of let me chill. But yes, there's going to be more movies.
Okay.
There's going to be more shows next year. I just did Benin. My new series just came out on Amazon Prime.
Oh, Benin?
No, I did stand-up
Stand-up.
in Benin October 1st. Right.
So which one is
I don't know, you still
Which
do
one are we
stand-up. I thought you
doing
don't-
end of
don't
the year?
find that level. I think
What
you
is
don't-
it?
Which one are we doing end of the year?
I really don't do
Usually
shows end of the year.
December.
Yeah, end of the year is family time for me, and that's when I get hired the most.
Yeah.
So my own personal gigs, you wouldn't see them, but I get hired by private companies to do their gigs.
Those things they pay you well.
Oh yeah, very well.
I saw your interview
Which one?
with Ibrahim, Vijay Adams, and I was like,
Oh right.
when you cashed out on this cash out, I was like, so this thing they pay like this.
I can't lie.
I
You
can't
have a good
lie.
manager. You said it that you.
Oh yeah. I just don't have a good manager. I have a good team. I have a very good team, and they are
Somebody go steal
Say
that your
it.
manager.
And you know,
90%.
Does a wife get a bit scared when you're working with women?
Maybe in the beginning, she didn't get worried when I was working with women, but I'm in an industry that has a lot of women,
Yeah,
and
fame brings-
I have very
How do
many
you help her to
female
be secure?
friends. But she knows sometimes it's not even what you say.
You get tempted.
She knows. Do I get them?
Tempted. You get tempted.
I'm a human
Don't see
being.
mommy water.
I'm a human
See
being.
mommy water.
You get tempted.
I'm a man. Don't you get tempted?
don't
I'm asking you a
understand.
question. The questioner
You have
here.
not answered.
You get tempted.
Temptation is part of life.
Yes.
How do you overcome it?
Because when you know that there's yin and yang of everything, it boils down to choice. You know, so you make a choice to resist the devil.
Well, I like that. What would you say, can I ask a final question? What would you say has helped you stay, to be sustainable?
Grounded.
You know, not grounded. Some people have started off like you. I'm sure you know a few people, but just didn't stay at least this level where here you are, you have branched out into being a movie maker and so many other things. What would you say helped you to do that?
I keep moving, I keep learning, especially learning, right? I understand reinvention is very key, you know? So that's just it, basically.
Came at a cost.
Thank you very much.
What?
That's all
Came
we
at
can
a cost.
take
Yeah.
on the show. We appreciate
you.
your presence. You just stayed with us today.
Yes, so
I did. I liked it. I've been here before, so.
I know, we know. That's all we can take on today's show. Join us again tomorrow. Have a great day. See you then. Bye for now.